Leo lived in the vibrant seaside city of Port Azzurri, famous for its colorful houses cascading down hills to meet the sparkling blue water, its bustling craft market, and the rich aroma of spices from harborside cafes. Port Azzurri had its own rhythm, its own soul, and its own language, Azzurrian. Leo owned a small shop tucked away in a cobbled alley, filled with beautiful handcrafted wooden figures he carved himself. He loved his work, the feel of the wood, the smell of the varnish, the quiet concentration it required. His customers were mostly locals, neighbors, people who spoke Azzurrian, just like him. Life was comfortable, familiar, English. Leo knew it existed, of course. He heard it sometimes from the growing number of tourists who wandered through the market, their cameras clicking, their voices loud and strange. He saw it on signs outside the newer hotels and on the menus of the fancier restaurants near the port. But for Leo, English felt like a locked door to a room he had no desire to enter. Why would he? His life was here, in Azzurrian. His friends, his family, his customers, they all understood him perfectly. But sometimes, the locked door rattled. A group of tourists might wander into his shop, admire his carvings, point, smile, and then try to ask a question in English. Leo would freeze. He knew a few basic words: hello, thank you, maybe, price, learned passively over the years. But stringing them together, understanding their rapid speech, impossible. He would usually just smile awkwardly, shrug, point at the price tag, and hope they understood. Often, they'd smile back, uncertainly, and leave. Leo would feel a prickle of shame, maybe frustration, but he'd quickly push it away. It doesn't matter, he'd tell himself. Most people speak Azzurrian anyway. His neighbor, old Mr. Silva, who sold painted ceramics, felt the same. Why break your head over English, Leo? Mr. Silva would grumble, polishing a brightly colored vase. Our crafts speak for themselves. Tourists who want them will figure it out. Let the fancy hotels worry about English. We have Azzurrian. It's good enough. Leo found comfort in Mr. Silva's words. It felt easier to agree, to stay in the familiar comfort zone of his own language. But deep down, Leo knew there were reasons why people avoided English, reasons that went beyond just not needing it. He saw it in his own reflections sometimes. The fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding foolish, fear of being laughed at, like that one time years ago in school when he mispronounced an English word and the whole class chuckled. That memory still stung. He also felt a lack of confidence. Languages were for clever people, academics, not for a simple woodcarver like him. And the sheer size of English. All those words, those confusing grammar rules about the a, an, those tenses. It felt overwhelming, like trying to count grains of sand on the beach. Easier not to start, easier to believe it wasn't necessary, easier to stay safe. Then came the day the door didn't just rattle. It flew open, showing Leo exactly what he might be missing. A woman entered his shop. She wasn't like the usual fleeting tourists. She examined his carvings with intense concentration, her eyes sharp and appreciative. She spoke English slowly, clearly, pointing to a beautiful, intricate bird Leo had spent weeks carving. She asked about the wood, about the process. Leo understood fragments, but couldn't respond beyond simple gestures. He desperately wanted to tell her about the local shorewood tree it came from, how he carved each feather individually. But the words wouldn't come. Fear and frustration built a wall in his throat. The woman pulled out her phone, opened a translation app. It was clunky, awkward. She typed, showed him the screen. Very beautiful. I buy many, for shop in my country. Need talk details. Leo's heart pounded. A big order, for a shop overseas. This could be huge. He tried using the app back, but his fingers fumbled. He couldn't express anything complex. The woman waited patiently for a few minutes, then sighed, a look of regret on her face. She smiled sadly, shook her head, bought only the one bird she held, paid and left. Leo watched her go, the small bell above his door chiming softly. He felt numb. He hadn't just lost a potential big sale. He had lost a connection. He had failed to share his passion, his craft. Because he couldn't bridge the language gap. The excuse, "It doesn't matter," felt hollow now. It did matter. That locked door wasn't just keeping English out. It was keeping opportunities and connections out too. Mr. Silva's good enough suddenly felt limiting, small. That evening, Leo walked home along the harbor, the setting sun painting the sky in fiery colors. He passed the Sea Breeze Cafe, run by Maya. She was younger than Leo, full of energy, and her cafe was always busy, attracting locals and tourists alike. He often heard her chatting easily with visitors in English, sometimes laughing, sometimes explaining directions. Her English wasn't perfect. He'd heard her stumble over words or make small grammar mistakes sometimes. But she communicated. She connected. He stopped. Maya was just closing up, wiping down tables. "Rode, Leo?" she asked in Azurin, noticing his downcast expression. Leo hesitated, then poured out the story of the woman and the missed opportunity. "I felt so stupid, Maya," he finished, kicking at a loose cobblestone. "I wanted to talk to her, tell her about my work. But I just froze. My English is terrible, it's hopeless." Maya listened patiently, then leaned against the door frame. "Hopeless? No. Leo? Difficult? Yes. Scary? Definitely. But not hopeless. Why do you think you can't learn?" "I don't know." Leo mumbled. "It's too hard. I'm not good at languages. I'll make too many mistakes. People will laugh. Besides, where would I even start?" He listed all the reasons he'd always used, the reasons that felt so solid until today. Maya nodded slowly. "I understand those feelings. I felt them too when I started. Everyone does. That fear of mistakes. It's the biggest wall most people build for themselves. We think we need to be perfect before we even open our mouths." But Leo, think about it. How does a baby learn to walk? By falling down, a lot. They don't wait until they know how to run a marathon perfectly before they take the first wobbly step. Language is the same. Mistakes aren't signs of failure, they're signs you retrying. They're part of learning. But it feels so embarrassing, Leo argued. Maya agreed. But most people, Especially other learners or patient native speakers aren't waiting to judge you. They were usually just happy you were trying to communicate. Think about tourists trying to speak Azurean here. Do you laugh if they make a mistake? Or do you appreciate the effort? Leo thought about that. He usually felt pleased, even touched, when a visitor tried a few words in Azurean, however broken. I see your point, he admitted grudgingly. So, that's the first step, Maya said gently. Change how you think about mistakes. They were not enemies. They were stepping stones. And forget perfection. Aim for connection. Did that woman need a perfect lecture on woodworking? Or did she just need to understand your passion and discuss a potential order? Leo nodded. Connection. That's what he'd failed to make. Okay, Maya continued. So you're worried it's too hard, and you don't know where to start. That's overwhelm. The solution? Start small. Really small. Don't try to learn the entire dictionary tomorrow. Like what? Like download a free language learning app on your phone. Duolingo memorize. There are tons. Spend just 10 minutes a day. Learn 5 new words. Learn one simple phrase. Like this is made of wood, or how can I help you? 10 minutes. Leo echoed, skeptical. Yes. Consistency is more important than intensity at the beginning. 10 minutes every day is much better than 2 hours once a week, where you get frustrated and give up. Make it a habit like brushing your teeth. And what about speaking? Leo asked, the old fear returning. Ah, the big one. Maya smiled. You have to practice speaking, Leo, right from the start. Even if it's just to yourself. To myself. I'll feel crazy. Maybe a little. Maya laughed. But it helps. Describe things in your shop in English as you work. This is a small bird. I am carving the wood. The color is blue. Just simple sentences. Record yourself on your phone, saying the new words you learned. Listen back. Yes, you'll probably cringe at first. Everyone does. But it helps you get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English. She leaned closer. And then, Leo, you have to take a tiny leap. Try using one simple English phrase with a tourist. Just one, maybe just, hello, welcome instead of the Azurean greeting. See what happens. The world won't end. They might smile. They might say hello back. That small positive interaction, it's fuel. It builds a tiny bit of confidence. What if they reply with something complicated? I don't understand. Then you smile and say, sorry, my English is small, or sorry, slow, please. It's okay. It shows you're trying. Or have your phone handy with a translation app, but use it as a backup, not a crutch. Leo looked thoughtful. Start small. Change mindset about mistakes. Practice speaking even to himself. Use simple tools. It didn't sound quite as impossible when Maya broke it down. Find your why. Leo. Maya added softly. You saw it today. That missed connection. That lost opportunity. Maybe your why is sharing your craft with the world. Maybe it's being able to connect with more people who visit our beautiful city. Maybe it's just the satisfaction of learning something new. Hold on to that reason when things get tough. What about time? Leo asked. I am busy in the shop. 10 minutes a day on an app. Maya reminded him. Listen to English music while you carve instead of the Azurian radio sometimes. Watch a short YouTube video in English about woodworking, something you enjoy. Connect it to your passion. Find English language tutorials for carving techniques that makes it fun, not a chore. Leo spent the next few days thinking. He saw Mr. Silva shrugging off tourists, looking vaguely annoyed. He saw Maya greeting visitors with a smile, easily pointing them towards the best viewpoints. He saw his own beautiful carvings sitting silently, their stories untold to so many. The memory of the woman's regretful smile nudged him. He downloaded Duolingo. He felt a bit silly doing the simple picture-matching exercises, but he did it for 10 minutes that evening. And the next, he started whispering words to himself in the shop. Brown wood, sharp knife, small cat figure. It felt strange, but Maya's voice echoed in his head. Mistakes are stepping stones. He found a YouTube channel where an old British man demonstrated wood carving techniques. The man spoke clearly, and Leo could see exactly what he was doing. He didn't understand every word, but he picked up new terms related to his craft. Gouge, chisel, sandpaper, wood grain. He started listening while he worked. The first time he tried speaking to a customer was nerve-wracking. A young couple came in, looking hesitant. Leo took a deep breath. "Hello," he said, his voice tight. They looked surprised, then smiled. "Hello," the young man replied. They pointed at a carving. Leo managed, "Is, fish." The man chuckled warmly. "Yes, a fish. Very nice." They didn't buy anything, but they left smiling. Leo felt a ridiculous surge of triumph. He had spoken. They had understood. Nothing terrible happened. He kept practicing. 10 minutes on the app, whispering descriptions. Watching his woodworking videos. Slowly, he learned more words, more simple phrases. He started trying short sentences with Maya when he saw her, practicing saying things like, "Today is sunny," or "My shop was busy." Maya would gently correct him sometimes, but always encouraged him. "See, Leo, you redoing it." There were frustrating days. Days when grammar felt like an impossible tangle. Days when he couldn't understand a word someone said. Days when Mr. Silva would say, "Still wasting time with that English nonsense, Leo." And doubt would creep back in. But Leo remembered the woman, the missed connection. He remembered Maya's advice. He kept his why firmly in mind. To share his art, to connect. He found an online language exchange website Maya recommended. He nervously messaged someone learning Azurian, a girl named Chloe in Canada. Their first few message exchanges were slow, full of dictionary lookups. Then they tried a short voice call. It was awkward. Leo's English was broken. Chloe's Azurian was even more basic. They laughed a lot at their mistakes. But they communicated. Chloe wanted to know about Port Azur. Leo asked about snow in Canada. It was clumsy, imperfect, but it was a real conversation. It made him realize language wasn't about passing a test. It was about sharing human experience. Months passed. Leo's progress wasn't miraculous. He wasn't suddenly fluent. He still made plenty of mistakes. He still felt nervous sometimes. But something fundamental had changed. The fear no longer paralyzed him. He understood that learning was a process, a journey, not a destination. He knew that trying, speaking, connecting, that was the real goal. One sunny afternoon, almost a year after his decision to start, a familiar figure appeared at his shop door. It was the woman from the year before, the buyer. Leo's heart jumped. He took a breath. "Hello," he said, managing a steadier smile this time. "Welcome back." The woman's eyes widened in surprise. Then she smiled warmly. "Hello. You remember me?" "Yes," Leo said. He still had to speak slowly, searching for words sometimes, but he didn't freeze. "You like bird?" He pointed to a similar carving. "Yes, very much," she replied. "Your work is wonderful. I hope to see you again." This time they talked. Leo used the English he had learned. He told her about the shorewood. He explained simply how he carved the details. He used gestures. He occasionally stumbled or used a wrong word. Wood is strong, good feeling. He asked her about her shop. She spoke clearly, patiently. She still used her translation app sometimes to clarify specific terms, but they were communicating. Leo felt a thrill course through him. Not just because she placed a significant order this time, but because he was connecting, sharing his passion across the language barrier. When she left, promising to email details, Leo felt 10 feet tall. He saw Maya waving from her cafe across the alley, giving him a thumbs up. He grinned back. He walked over to Mr. Silva's shop. "Guess what, Mr. Silva?" Leo said, unable to contain his excitement, slipping back into comfortable Azurean. The woman from last year came back. And this time, we talked. In English. Well, my broken English. And she placed a big order. Mr. Silva looked surprised, then gave a grudging nod. "Happy. Maybe. Maybe there's something to it after all," he conceded. Leo's journey with English was far from over. He knew he had much more to learn, but he had conquered the biggest hurdles. The fear of starting, the fear of mistakes, the belief that he couldn't do it. He learned that the reasons people don't learn English, fear, perfectionism, lack of confidence, feeling overwhelmed, are just walls we build ourselves. And the way to tear them down isn't by waiting until we re perfect architects of the language. It's by picking up the first stone, however small. It's by understanding why you want to cross the barrier. It's by finding patient guides and partners. It's by celebrating every wobbly step. And most importantly, it's by opening your mouth and speaking. Say hello. Ask a simple question. Describe your day in simple terms. Talk to yourself. Sing along to a song. Make mistakes. Laugh. Try again. Because English, like any language, isn't just a set of rules in a book. It's a tool for connection. It's a bridge to people, to ideas, to opportunities, to understanding different ways of seeing the world. Don't let fear keep that door locked. Find your key, your reason why. Put it in the lock, even if your hand is trembling. Turn it, and take that first step into a wider, more connected world. Start speaking today. Your voice deserves to be heard.